So, I wonder if we go over, is there a WWE Evolve? WWE Evolve, what have we got? Ah, here we go. If you haven't seen Evolve, you're missing out. Follow the journeys each week. Okay, so there might be a bit of a preview here from Mr. Stone. Let's have a look at this, shall we? Let's see what gets said here.
I'm Robert Stone.
And I'm Blake Howard.
And this is your weekly WWE Evolve 2B teaser. And tonight, Dante Chen, who I haven't exactly agreed with everything he's been doing lately.
Just make it a bit bigger.
I'm Robert Stone. And WWE Evolve 2B teaser. And tonight, Dante Chen, who I haven't exactly agreed with everything he's been doing lately, one-on-one with not a star, but the star, Idris.
And Rob, a superstar who's been looking for a friend. He's been looking for a tag team partner over the last couple of weeks on Evolve. Jordan Oasis finds him, and they take on Swipe Right.
They sure do. Parties here!
The Hundos will certainly be flying tonight. Hey, speaking of flying, brand new tag team debuting tonight, Adrenaline Drip.
Oh, now the party's here.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Oh, is that? Oh, yeah, that's
Never too cool to crash.
Cappuccino and Cartwheel.
Don't miss it, Tubi.
Catch it all live, 8 p.m. I'm Robert Stone.
Okay, well, there we go
Blake
then.
Howard.
So, yeah, Jordan Oasis is looking for a partner, isn't he? Jordan Oasis is looking for a partner, and I wonder who he'll find. I wonder if we'll get someone interesting from the main roster or something. Also, looks like there's been a bit of an update in regards to some figure bits and bobs that are kind of doing the rounds today. We can just have a little... I've not seen these because I've just been doing like a members watch-along thing, so I've not seen these. But let's have a little look, see what we've got. So today we have got some stuff from the major figure bros. Not too interested in those. Is this the major figure? They've got like the rights to Macho Man, have they? How the hell have they done that? It's Mattel that I'm interested in, to be honest. So, bendy stuff. Oh, here's AEW bits. These are AEW bits. I'm guessing these are from... Not only are we making AEW talent, but we're showcasing their moments. So they must have a deal now with AEW to make big rubber figures. Wow, that's big for those guys, isn't it? If they've got the rights to make big rubber figures for AEW. That's actually a big announcement for those. Wow, look at that. They've actually managed to get a Tony Storm figure. Big rubber figure thing. So that's interesting. So they're making AEW figures now. Not the actual figures, because those figures will be made by Jazzwares. So not the, here we go, like these ones, the ones that have actually got articulation that are made out of plastic. Jazzwares makes those for AEW. But it looks like big rubber figures are being made by Matt Cardona's company now. So these are Jazzware bits. I'm not really interested in this. It's WWE Mattel I'm interested in. Coliseum, Honky Tonk Man, and Warrior on the way. This is the Mattel stuff. Ultimate Edition Randy Orton doesn't look brilliant, to be honest. I feel like this isn't the room I want to be in. I want to be in this room. This is the room I want to be in. I want to be in the unseen room. See if we can get... That's a bit better. That's a bit better. There we go. This is better. This is a better space. I feel like the pictures are bigger here. What else we got? WrestleMania 30. Oh my god, how weird. We literally was just watching a Raw on the road to WrestleMania 13. There's Shamrock. There's Brett. There's Stone Cold. It's an I Quit 3-pack that's coming to Walmart. So we've got that's on the way. As well as that, we've got first time in the line basics for, I'm guessing that's Chad, Ivy, Nile, and Kyrie. It's a little bit low down there, isn't it? Kind of cuts it off a little bit. We have... Can I go full screen? Trying to get these to fit on screen is a bit annoying. There we go. That's a bit better. So there is American Maids. There is Motor City are being made for the first time. Motor City machine guns actually coming into the Mattel line. That's pretty big for people. EO getting a new figure. Andrade. Speed Championship coming into the line. Don't think we've had the Speed Championship before. Stone Cold's coming in. And a new Damian Priest coming in as well. So those are on the way. As well as that, we've got some elites and legends and bits and bobs. So these are just renders. Who are these people? That looks like it's Grande Americano. That's maybe, I don't know who these people are, to be honest. I can't quite make out from the renders. Is that maybe a Kofi? Maybe? It looks a bit too jacked to be Kofi. I can't quite make out who that is. I can't quite get close enough to the picture to see. The hair looks a bit Kofi-ish. It's clearly a guy and not a girl, because otherwise, you know, we'd definitely put a top on them. That's Grande, and I have no idea who that is. Can't quite make that out. Who is this? Penta. What is that? Which one's Penta? Penta. Oh, they're talking about Motor City, so I think they're talking about the ones in the slide, to be honest. We've already looked at that one. Mr. Fuji coming into the line. Michelle McCall coming into the line. Triple H. These are Target exclusives. There's the Penta that people were talking about. This Penta is going to be a defining moments Penta. That's nice, isn't it? That looks really good, actually. That looks really, really good. So that's coming into the line. We've got a Hogan ripping his shirt. There's a Chelsea. So we've got a Seth, a Chelsea. That looks good for Chelsea, actually. Swappable heads. She's getting an Ultimate Edition. That looks like a great Hogan if he's going to be like mid-rip. That's going to be a great figure on a shelf, isn't it? That's going to look so good. They've done so many Hogans, but I don't think they've ever done one where he's like... They have done one in a box where he's kind of starting to rip his shirt, but they haven't got one that's like fully like that. That looks really good. That's the kind of one that you probably wouldn't buy a kid to play with. That's more, I think, for collectors, to be honest. That looks really good. So we got a Hogan on the way. There's the Randy. I don't love that Randy. Don't love that Randy, but it's okay. Peacemaker, and that's everything, apparently. So the ones that I'm waiting for are like the WWE Superstars, the Walmart exclusive ones. That's what I'm waiting for. This isn't everything. This is just a little taster, to be honest. I think the bulk of the stuff might be on its way tomorrow. Just check to see if Ringside have got anything. They just got a few bits. Ones that I think we've already seen. Yeah. So we've probably got to wait for the panel. We've probably got to wait for the actual San Diego Comic-Con panel. This is just a little tease at this stage. Just a little taster at this stage. But some new figures already being shown from San Diego Comic-Con. And if you are a figure fan, I'm sure you're starting to get a little excited. It's the Superstars one, the Walmart exclusives I'm looking for. I am interested in the Wyatt 6 figures, says Nathan. Well, they've been shown, yeah. They've been shown, and they I didn't realise, but the Dexter one is already out now. That was actually an unseen yesterday. So you can actually get the Dexter Wyatt 6 figure. Calvin, shout out to you. Boomer said we are the elites. Yeah, I don't know what I'm hoping for, honestly. I don't know what I'm hoping to see. I don't know. Normally I go into these things really hoping, oh God, I really hope there's a such and such or a such and such, but I don't know that I'm really hoping for anything. I feel like I'd love a Bull Nakano if they could make a Bull Nakano. That would be great. So I'd definitely take a Bull Nakano figure from old school back in the day. But I don't know, man. I think Mattel have done such a good job. I think they've really done such a good job that I think we've kind of had a lot of the figures that I've always kind of been hoping for. So yeah, don't know. Just hope whatever they've got up their sleeve, they They continue to kill it. The WWE Superstar line, I love. That Walmart exclusive style line, I absolutely love. So there's plenty of figures I would love to see get introduced into that line. That's a line that needs kind of fleshing out. They've only done about 60 figures in that line. But it's a brilliant line. If you've never seen it, it's a brilliant line because it is, it's got all soft goods in it. So the actual figures, their ring gear is like cloth. And it looks so impressive. It's a line that I constantly was trying to fight not buying them. I was constantly trying to not get them. But I just gave in because, I mean, look at that big boss, man. With like the cloth kind of shirt. Just looks so good. And the face scan on it looks really good. Like the way they've sculpted the face, like it looks really good. If you take the clothes off, they're a bit, out of proportion. They're a bit cartoonish. But honestly, I don't mind that because actually when the clothing is on, I think it looks good. Like there's Shawn Michaels with his jacket on, and it all falls and looks good. It comes with like belts and accessories, but he's got that jacket. But like the Mr. Perfect comes with a singlet, like an actual kind of cloth singlet, and like a towel as well. So there's like the Mr. Perfect with the belts. But some of these are like absolutely fantastic. Like they've done some like brilliant ones in this line. There's look at that Warrior. Ultimate Warrior looks really, really good. And they've done like a whole suit for the $1 Million Man. $1 Million Man came in a whole cloth suit. So these are like Walmart exclusives. And they've done like The Rock, and they've done Cody and Dusty, and they've done Stone Cold's coming in, Tatanka, and loads. But there's still so many that they need to do in this line. That was the Bret Hart that they did with an actual like leather jacket. They even did Captain Lou Albano. Look at that, Captain Lou in this line. And these are Walmart exclusives. You can only get them at Walmart or at Wrestling Shop here in the UK. I flipping love this line. This is the line I collect now. I don't really get the other Mattel ones as much. I love the old school packaging. This is just like what the packaging used to be in the 1980s. The figures are kind of more based on, I don't know if it's like the Remco ones or the Jax ones, but the figure style is an old style as well. So you got old style packaging, old style figures, but with new kind of better facial scans and cloth goods. And, there's the Undertaker one. Undertaker's great. They could do more Undertakers, to be honest, but I'm quite pleased with this Undertaker. Old school looks really good. So, yeah, this is the line I'm waiting for more to be announced in. This is what I want to see more of. Is this kind of Superstars line. Absolutely flipping love them. I got addicted to him when I went to America. I'd kind of been like, I hadn't really worried about him because you can't get them in the UK, so I wasn't bothered. And then I went to America and I saw them in person. I just ended up buying some, and that was it. I was hooked then. I think I got about 60 of them now. Nathan said, I'm going to spend so much money. I know. You really could end up spending a lot. Have you ever seen the Bret Hart figure, says Nick? I don't think I've ever seen it in person. I know of its existence. I believe it goes for a fair bit, does it not, on eBay? These figures are... They did a whole line of like the guest hosts. So you can actually get... there's the Bret Hart one. I didn't realise it was a convention exclusive. I didn't know that. So I've never seen this one in person. But yeah, you could get a whole series of the like guests that that might be what I'm on about. So some of like there's what's that, Penn and Teller, and I think that's one of the Rolling Stones. And so yeah, some of the kind of guest hosts. Oh, look, there's James Brown. James Brown, that's cool. Kid Rock. So you could get them, they did a whole series of like guest host like figures. That might be these ones here. But yeah, you don't really see them very much, to be honest. There's Bret with one. There's Bret with his figure of himself from The Simpsons. Very good. I've never seen one. I've heard they sell for quite a bit online, though, to be honest. So I don't anticipate I will ever get one. I remember that old school packaging, said Nathan. Wrestling Proud said, I've got a couple of those Superstar line. I got the Flair, the Bam Bam, and the Bray. Brilliant. I mean, I know quite a few people picked up the Bray. I think they really tried to not go with like current stars. So they've really tried, like, they've not done a Roman Reigns, but they should. They absolutely should. That's one I'd like to see come in the line, actually, for them to do a Roman Reigns. They've never done a Seth Rollins, but again, they should. I don't think they've ever done a woman in that line either. It bothers me because it's a Walmart exclusive, because it's not part of the main line. Like, people keep saying that it's going to get cut and that the line's going to be discontinued. And I really don't want that to be the case, because I really do love that line. I think it's a brilliant line. But yeah, for some reason they focus on older legends, which again I love. That's right in my wheelhouse. You know, giving me people like Nikolai Volkov and Tatanka and people along those lines. Like, let's go, mate. You know, brilliant. But they did do a double pack that was Dusty Rhodes and Cody Rhodes. So Cody is in that line. You can get Cody. You just have to get him, I think, on Mattel Creations. So they did do that, and they did also do Bray. I don't know why they did Bray. They did Bray as the Mad Hatter. I'm not sure why they did Bray in that line, but they did. And they did him as the Mad Hatter. And that one, I think, was quite well received by, like, you know, the Bray collectors and whatever. And I'd love to see him do a Roman and a Seth. Love it. Love some of that old school WWF, said Blue Wheel Sonic. Well, Blue Wheel Sonic, we just did a members stream where we went back and we rewatched ECW invading Raw, and it was really interesting, actually. There was an arm wrestle between Marlena and Sunny. We were at the Manhattan Center. ECW kind of invaded and had some matches on the show. Jerry the King Lawler was going off on Paul Heyman. Undertaker was in the main event. Legion of Doom were kind of like surprise guests. It was kind of fun to see like some of the old kind of graphics that they had, and it was good. It was interesting. The show itself, to be honest with you, like the wrestling on it was quite underwhelming. So, you know, there was definitely parts of it that I think could have been better. We looked on Cage Match and it got around about a 5.8 out of 10, but it's one of those where, like, it's kind of just fun to go back sometimes, freshen up your mind, remind yourself of some of these iconic shows, because that is an iconic show when ECW sort of invade, and yeah, it was kind of fun. So yeah, we're kind of having a bit of a look back today. But yeah, it just happens to be that today is the first day where we're starting to get some stuff shown at San Diego Comic Con. Faith said Tatum using her figure as a gimmick is genius. She did a standing forward front kick, says Faith and Deeds. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind her using the doll as part of her in-ring stuff, and I think doing it whilst the lights are out, I don't mind as well. I think the finish of that was a little frustrating, just because it was lights out, came on, and she's literally I sort of feel like it should have been more lights out, lights come back on, and then at least you get to see the finishing sequence. I feel like the whole kind of moves, the finishing moves, we should have seen those. We missed out on all of that. The only thing we saw was literally, 1, 2, 3. That was it. So I just think they got that a little bit wrong. And maybe they were meant to be a bit quicker with the lights, maybe. Perhaps that was another production botch. I mean, it could have been. They might not have planned it that way. Because, I mean, the ramp thing was a little off, and they didn't show us Inamura getting thrown into the ring steps by Briggs, but that happened in the background. So there was a couple of moments that were just a bit clunky with NXT this week. That might have been another one, I don't know. But yeah, I don't mind in the right circumstances, finding ways of kind of using the doll as a weapon, you know. Nathan said, I think I'm going to get the Wyatts. That way I can just stick to the how much money I spend. Yeah, I think being disciplined makes sense when it comes to collecting figures. I've said that all along. Like when I started, I just wanted the champions. I just wanted the belts. So I think if you're disciplined, it's a good way of collecting. If you just like try and buy everything, like it can honestly be really overwhelming. And I mean, you're spending thousands. If you go that way, you've got to know that you are going to spend thousands and thousands. And no, I don't know about you, but thousands and thousands is not something that I have at my disposal. So, you know, you kind of have to really take these things into consideration. And just kind of really got out of control for me. Wrestler Andy said, I think we need a Giant Gonzalez Ultimate with real fur and a Harvey Wimpleman. That would be fun, actually. That would be fun. Like, bigger as well than all the other figures. Put his arms out with all the kind of fur, and yeah, that would be good. I don't know if we've ever had a Harvey Wimpleman, now you've said that. I could believe that they did a Build-A-Figure. I've never seen just an outright figure that you buy. But I could believe that he might have been one of those Build-A-Figures, buy the set and you can build him. But I don't even think we've done that for Harvey Wimpleman, you know. Rent-Free said, if you could fantasy book the 2001 Invasion storyline, what changes would you make? It's widely considered one of the biggest letdowns. How would you fix it? Do you know, I think it's hard to fix, Rent-Free. I think it's really hard to fix. I think that I would have probably delayed it, is how I would have fixed it. The problem that the Invasion angle had was that they got some names, but they didn't get the big names. There was no Hogan, for example, that kind of came over. There was no Goldberg that kind of, you know, immediately came over. They had some names, but not enough to really do an Invasion angle, which is why the Invasion angle ended up like being very messy. So what they did was they did WCW and they had to put ECW in the mix as well, because WCW on its own was not strong enough to invade. You know, everyone, they tried to give the fans what they knew the fans would want, and that is that we've bought WCW. The WCW talent is gonna, you know, be livid about it, and they're going to want to, you know, invade and take over. Yeah, makes sense. Totally makes sense. And the thing is that you want to do that quite close to WCW being purchased. I get that as well, because you strike when the iron is hot. You know, you strike when the iron is hot. You know, those WCW fans are still around. You know, they're a little bit lost. You know, you're trying to win them over as well. Like, come and join us. I know we were rivals. You know, imagine if AEW went out of business. Imagine if AEW goes out of business and you pick up Private Party, Dark Order if they're still around. You know, you don't get MJF. You don't get Okada or Omega. You know, you don't get Tony Storm. You don't get those big names. You might get one or two. But what you get is a lot of just mid-card sort of, you know, you get Anna Jay, you get Sky Blue. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just get some of this kind of, like, mid-cards. You get Willow. Can you do would you be able to do an AEW Invasion with a couple of big names and majority being just, like, mid-card stuff? It's hard. I mean, I think it works initially because, oh my God, they're invading. Oh my God, it's exciting. But actually, once you start getting into the meat and potatoes of it, once you start to try and build some cards out of it, all of a sudden you start to see that there's a lack of star power on the WCW side, like there would be if we were to do it now with AEW, right? So fixing it is honestly really difficult, because to fix it, you need to get Sting and you need to get Goldberg and you need to get like these people that did not come in. You need Hogan, you need Kevin Nash, you need Scott Hall. Like, you need those names that did not come in as part of the Invasion. And the reason why they didn't come in is because a load of them got paid out of their contracts. And a lot of them just got paid to just stay at home. Like we'll pay out the remainder of your contract. So, I'll just stay at home. I've got my money. I don't need to wrestle. Certainly not interested in wrestling for Vince at this stage. So yeah, I'm done. That's me done. I'm happy. So, a lot of people were happy to just kind of keep seeing out their deals and just stay at home. It's why, like the NWO, I don't think finally come until like 2002, when actually WCW goes out of business kind of just before WrestleMania in 2001. So the invasion angle is honestly a nightmare. Trying to book it, change it, do something different. I think you would need those big stars to do it properly. I don't know if it wasn't worth just waiting, just delaying it, and just trying to then find a way of getting those big stars and then doing it properly. They tried to do it without, having the stars to do it. So should they have delayed it? But the problem is, I can't even say that would work, because if you delayed it, have you missed the boat? What's the point in doing a WCW angle a year after WCW has gone out of business? Those WCW fans by that point, they've probably moved on. They've probably left wrestling, or, wrestling's not for me, and they've got into other things. Like, is it going to carry? Like, I could see if you delayed it, people looking back going, they left it too long. They should have done it immediately. But the thing is, they did it immediately, and they didn't have the star power, so that didn't work either. So, what are you meant to do? I mean, we ended up with having, like, Stone Cold having to go over to try and give them some star power. We actually had to send WWF talent over to their side to try and balance it up. But then it's just messy, isn't it? Then you've got Team WWE or WWF taking on some defected WWF talent, WCW talent, ECW talent, and it's just not. It's just a mess. And to be honest, at that point, I think people could see that this was not going to be what people wanted it to be. And as a result, it just didn't go anywhere. It just really is looked back on as a real missed opportunity. But I don't know that it's a missed opportunity, to be honest. I don't know that it's a missed opportunity, because I don't know that the opportunity was ever really there in order to do it, because they never got all the contracts. So, yeah, it's a real difficult one to say they should have done this, they should have done that, because I think they did probably as good a job as they could have done with the talent they had. So the only alternative is to delay it a year until you've got, like, the NWO available and you've got, like, access to some of the other names. Maybe if you delayed it a little while, you could have got more. You could have, as soon as NWO were in and you kind of sold the vision, maybe you could have got in some other people. But honestly, we could have done that, and then people could have said you missed the boat. So, yeah, it's a difficult one, honestly. Hannah said, besides you, who is the best waffler in history? Hunter or Dwayne might be prime candidates. Well, I don't know that anyone. I don't think either of them can waffle as long as me. I'd love to see Triple H. I suppose he would be able to talk for a long time. Same with The Rock, but I don't know. Could they do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wrestling Escape Pod Thursday, SmackDown on Friday, weekend streams, day after day after day? They probably could, to be honest. They probably could. They've got enough stories to share. Blue Will Sonic said, Daze, my dad watched Ray against Eddie back in 99 Halloween. I was 1 year old, said Blue Will Sonic. Nightmare Fat who said Jim Cornette could. That is true. Jake said, I don't think wait-in is a good option. People might have stopped caring by the time you do it. Plus, there's no guarantee they would have got Hall, Nash, Hogan, Goldberg. There's not really an alternative, is there? I mean, you either waited or you ended up doing what you were doing, because I don't think you could have found a way of, like... I mean, you would have had to have built up those stars. I mean, I don't know. I think you would have had to have found a way of building up the stars that you had, made them seem bigger threats. Maybe you could have found a way of doing that until the other names came in to kind of keep it going, maybe you could have found a way, but like, how long is it going to take you to build some of those stars up that they managed to get? I think it's a hard one. I don't know that there is a way of kind of saving it, to be honest. I don't know if it wasn't worth trying to do a WCW show, put all the WCW talent onto that, and, you know, add some WWE talent and try and make a little show out of it. You know, you could have had something that could have done some okay numbers, but just wouldn't have been as big as it was, you know? Think about, like, where NXT is. You know, would that have been a way forward? Would that have been something? It wouldn't have been anywhere near as exciting as trying to do an invasion, but I think people look back on the invasion now and go, I don't even know if people think it was worth it. So, yeah, a difficult one, that. G Doggy Dog said Vince definitely needed to buy WCW. It's just too bad he couldn't really do the invasion the way the fans would have wanted it. Oh, buying them was definitely the right move. I mean, it was undoubtedly the right move, because just getting the tape library alone was worth it. I mean, I can't remember how much you paid. It was something stupid, like I think $2 million. And like the tape, that gives you the tape library as well. All that historical content, you know, you get that. I think they said that they got very little actually when they bought it. The tape library was the big thing, and they got a couple of rings, some graphics and whatever, and like there really wasn't much that came with that deal. But that tape library, obviously now, I mean, that content is their content now. And so, you know, they can show those shows and do video packages with that content and repackage it. And they've sold DVDs featuring it. And I mean, that's you know, that's paid them back 10 times over already. Daze, NXT was weird yesterday, says Matteo. It was not as good as I thought. I missed a whole hour, but what I saw felt about like a 5. Yeah, it was really a weird one. It really was. It was very strange. But I mean, I saw some people absolutely loving it because of everything that had gone down. So some people were just really into like the talking points. But yeah, for me, it was weird. Weird was the headline. I still think there was enough talking points for it to not be a bad show. There was enough that happened that kept you, you know, like engaged. But some of the segments definitely fell a bit flat. Nick said the invasion just wasn't booked properly. Even without big names, it could have been amazing. But Vince's ego got the best of him, and it ruined the entire story. Defcon said Daze collection hit 625 last week. If you multiply that by just $10 a figure, that's nearly $6,000, said Defcon. It's crazy, isn't it? It's best to not think about. It's best to not think about that you spent like so much money on the. But I mean, like, it's brought so much joy as well. I mean, if I think about the amount of money I've spent, I mean, it's thousands. But if I think about kind of, you know, going out and looking for them and, you know, seeing new figures and waiting for them to be released and just the excitement that it's brought, I mean, it's definitely been worth it in that regard. And I don't begrudge it, but, you know, you kind of save for a house or you need a new car or you got bills to pay, and then you realise the amount you spent on figures and you go, oh, yeah, no. Yeah. Probably could do with that money now, actually. Odyssey said, made wrestling and WWE as it is, people have to understand and rethink everything is possible, says Odyssey. The modern equivalent of the invasion angle would be like a TNA thing, but seeing LA Knight and other former TNA personalities jump over, it's just not the same, said Defcon. Dean said, what's the most brutal match that we've seen in WWE? Well, I mean, the one historically, and it was the most watched match, is obviously Mick Foley and Undertaker. I think a lot of Mick Foley's stuff, actually. I mean, those chair shots by The Rock at the Rumble come to mind as well. I mean, they were absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. And, you know, Vince, there's even footage of Vince saying, you know, nothing but respect, but let's never do that again. And, you know, I mean, we all remember what happened with the 98 Hell in a Cell Undertaker match, the most watched match on the network. To be honest, though, I really would raise up the Drew CM Punk match recently as well. I would really raise that up as like a really brutal match. I think there was definitely some. I remember Cena as well when he was like all busted open, blood pouring down his face. I forget the show that was on, but I remember that where I think it was against JBL, and he got absolutely busted open and blood was just absolutely pouring out his face. So, I mean, WWE has definitely, gone over that line normally during the Attitude Era, but more in recent years, obviously there's going to be less examples because, kind of the PG era came in and we haven't gone anywhere near as far. So you've got to go back to more Attitude Era or kind of early Ruthless Aggression era, and you'll find some stuff there. But in recent years, you won't find loads of examples because WWE actively tried to stay away from blood and anything too edgy. G-Dog said WWE should do a what if kind of show, and they could start with the invasion angle. Matteo said Daze NXT was really weird. We read that. Odyssey said the problem with wrestling fans is they overthink everything and they overreact, and another mistake is they don't believe Dave Meltzer. Triple H has got an ego like Vince, says Odyssey. Just Jess, hello, shout out to you. Rob said, I brought a 350 plus G.I. Joe Dragonfly helicopter. The thing is so big, it's still in its shipper box, and I do kind of regret it. Oh, really? A G.I. Joe Dragonfly helicopter. Do you know what I always fancied when I was a kid? Never got it. I don't know that I ever asked for it that many times, but it's one of those things I'd always look at and be like, oh, that's cool. But I think I always asked for wrestling stuff instead. But there was the Turtles blimp, just this big like blimp, and it was all like green and it had the Turtles logo on and everything. And I remember thinking like, that's really cool. I really liked it, and it was big, and I was like, man, that'd be so good on Christmas Day. I mean, when I was young, of course. I'm not talking about this year, but that was one I always quite fancied. But I mean, I was so into wrestling that I just, I just wanted wrestling stuff, really. But I could kind of, if I saw it for an all right price, I could be sort of tempted to get it. I sort of think like, if I get my own place soon, which I don't know that I will, but if I did, I'd definitely get a man cave. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a man cave, and I could like suspend that from the ceiling. You could do that with that helicopter, actually. I always think that looks quite good. Like, if you've got, like, some shelves that have got a few bits on, your TV and a few posters, whatever, and then you can even just get some, like, wire and, like, hang bits from the ceiling. So, like, a Turtles blimp or a Death Star or, whatever it might be. You could maybe do that with your helicopter. Actually, if you display it, it could probably look quite good. If you get it, some of that kind of invisible wire stuff. And actually, like, get it posed in the corner. Could look really good. So there you go. Get it in your man cave. Nightmare Fatu said there's a lot of interest in what ifs when it comes to WWE. Like, what if WCW had won the Monday Night War? What if? Do they do cheap championship belts for sale, said Dean. Do they do cheap championship belts? Well, I don't know what you mean by cheap. I mean, they did do a plastic version, which looked really good, of the WWE Championship. They were selling it in Smith's about 8 years ago, and came in a big box. It was proper sized. It wasn't like a kid's little thing. It was the proper same size. It looked bang on, honestly. Rather than being metal, it was plastic. But it looked good, and everything about it just looked like. I mean, I'm sure if you had it and you had a real one next to it, you'd go, yeah, that's clearly the plastic one. That's the real one. But just on its own, it looked pretty good, to be honest. I think they were selling those for like $99.99. It's about £100. for that. And I think it was called like the commemorative version or something. They gave it some, fancy name like that. I thought that was a good idea. Like, I would have liked for them to have done a whole series of those, actually. Because, who's got the money to be spending £400-500 on replica belts? I mean, you might be able to get one and have, like, the Winged Eagle or whatever and have it on display or whatever. But, like, yeah, I see those people that have, like, loads of them, and I'm like, Jesus. I mean, we just spoke about the thousands you have to spend on figures. I mean, when you look at some of these people that have got, like, 12 championship belts, they've got, like, the Winged Eagle, the Hogan 86, the Undisputed, the Spinner belts, the Intercontinental old school one, the oval version of it, whatever. They got all these different ones. You're like, geez, really impressive, to be honest, that they can afford that. I know they do sales on belts and whatever, but it's a lot of money still. Yeah, but so I saw a £100 version of like a plastic one, but I've not seen anything other than that, apart from like, the real cheap kids ones that they tend to do. Nathan said, I've still got all the Ninja Turtle toys from the cartoons, but I never did get that blimp. I pre-ordered it back when I still had money to spend, said Rob. Odyssey said, I think Solomonster did someone could screw Cody over. Who do you think that could be? Well, I thought Randy for a long time, that Randy could screw over Cody. I've been waiting for Randy to do that for ages. And actually, we did see Cody Randy in the King of the Ring final, and Randy he was pleased for his friend, but you could tell there was frustration there as well. I actually think Randy coming down, costing Cody going into a Randy feud would make a lot of sense, because it gets Cody out of the way for Cena, so that Cena can, continue with this title run and continue to ruin wrestling. And actually today we've heard that The Rock now might not be at SummerSlam, so we've spoke a lot about that match. Obviously everyone's talking about that match, which way is it going to go, what's going to happen. And it's really hard to predict, because there is actually a lot of moving pieces. There's been a lot of rumors. It's not just that we know like where it's going and that's it. Like, there's been rumors of The Rock getting involved. Obviously, they've made it a street fight, so there's now no DQ, which is obviously a development. We know about Seth's injury, and he can cash in, and he might cash in there. We know that Cody lost the title at WrestleMania, so is this John giving him the belt back? Obviously, there's the theory of the double turn, about Cody turning back. Cody's been teasing a couple of things with the watch and the glasses and all that stuff, so there's just so much noise around that match that it makes it so difficult to know which way they're going to go. And, people can have their thoughts and their theories and, like, chuck a few things around. It's obviously fun to do that. But, I don't think anyone's got a real read as to which direction it's going to go. But I think if it was to be a case that we were going to have someone interfere to cost Cody, I think I'd be looking at Randy. Because, the Randy-Cody feud is just easy money, to be honest. With their history and everything they've been through, it's easy money. So, I was expecting Randy actually to turn, to snap. I mean, he's tried being the good guy. It's not worked for him. He's seeing Cena being the bad guy, and he's seen Cena win the title. I mean, I don't think it's going to take Randy too much to kind of go, oh, well, maybe I should try that then. I mean, he's been heel for probably the majority of his career, so we could absolutely go that way. Right, Just Jess, shout out to you. Odyssey said, I think Steven or Amel or The Rock or Punk or Sammy or Ethan or Sean Spears. Well, I don't think it'll be Steven Amell. I mean, that was a long time ago. I mean, you're going back over 10 years when we were doing stuff with Stephen Amell. I don't even know if he does anything these days, does he? I know he did the whole Arrow thing, but I think that's long since been cancelled. I don't think he's that big of a star in this day and age. I could be wrong. I don't really follow what the comings and goings of Hollywood, but I really wouldn't expect Stephen Amell to get involved. The Rock apparently is not going to be at SummerSlam, but again, that's just a rumor. He absolutely could be. And it was only the other day that there was rumor doing the rounds that there was talk that he was going to be. So again, you never quite know what to expect. Nathan said, I do love these rumors though, because it keeps us guessing. Ben said, a big what if is, what if Daze had to settle down with that partner who suggested his name Daze? It would mean no streams, no Hall of Fame. Tommy would have been the next big thing. I don't know that it would have meant no streams. I don't know. I don't actually know how I would have made that work, but I think there would have been streams. I always had intentions of doing streams. That was kind of, but it was work that got in the way. It wasn't my then partner that prevented me from doing that. It was work that prevented me from doing that. So yeah, it'd be a bit challenging, to be honest, how you would balance a relationship with doing streams and everything, because obviously, you know, partners would need time and attention. They're like pets. You can't just ignore them. So yeah, it would be a challenge. But no, she was never a barrier to that. She was never a barrier to that. So I think it still would have happened. Faith Indeed said Foley gave his life to wrestling. He could be the greatest performance art ever, says Faith Indeeds. There's a movie on Tubi. It's called Don't F in the Woods. Well, it's really good advice, actually, because there's bears in the woods. And you definitely don't need to experience one of those whilst you're making sweet love. Dean said, I had some biker mice from Mars. My brother had those. My brother had biker mice from Mars. I saw the cartoon a few times because he used to enjoy it. But yeah, not something I ever had. But they were fun. I mean, they were just like, you know, kind of thing really that was around at that time with Thundercats and He-Man and Turtles and biker mice. So yeah, fun. Nathan said, I started collecting Thundercats. Daze, what do you think WWE, when do you think they should turn him heel? I know a lot of people want it at SummerSlam. I don't. But it would rather be later. He's the biggest babyface in the company, maybe 2026. Yeah, I said the other day, when it comes to Cody, I feel like I just think that when it comes to the conversation about heel turns, I just think it's the easy answer. It's the easy answer. I just think that people that are saying that, right? And again, I'm not being disrespectful, but I just think that there's a lack of creativity if you're calling for that. I think it seems to me like you don't have the ability to think of something more creative for Cody to do. You can't think of a way to give him an edge. You can't think of a way of making him engaging as a babyface. So the nuclear button, the nuclear option, the button that's like going to change everything easily, right, is to turn him heel. That button, it changes everything. It changes his relationship with the fans, probably changes his entrance music, changes his attitude, his promos, his ring gear, it changes everything, right? And I do understand that people will be like, yeah, I want to see all that, right? But I sort of feel like that's a button that should not be pushed very often, because all of a sudden it wears out. You can wear that out. You can't keep flip-flopping people around. Like, you can't just keep changing people face, heel, face, heel, face, heel, face, heel. Like, I really, that to me is like, if you've explored other options first, if you've tried some stuff first, great. Then, okay, if nothing has worked, let's go. Turn him heel, right? But I just sort of feel like with Cody, we're not too far removed from people wanting him to finish his story. And, you know, then, of course, they gave him a really boring title run. Not Cody's fault. Creative, just boring. And now we find ourselves at the point where people are like, turn him heel. Just turn him heel. I'm bored. And it's like, well, don't you think there's like a million other things we could try first? Like, don't you think we could give him some really good creative? Don't you think we could maybe have him show a little more attitude? Yeah, make him actually come across with a bit more attitude, but still keep him as a babyface. Maybe keep him a bit more, have him be a bit more no nonsense. Like, I sort of feel like you can tweak his promos, you can tweak his presentation, you can change, the stories that he's involved in. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that you could do before pressing that button. That button is an easy button to press, but you can't keep pressing it. If I was pressing it, I'd press it because I've tried everything else first. So I'm not keen on turning him heel because I just think that it's the easy option. I think that there is still an opportunity to keep him a babyface but give him an edge. I don't think we've even looked to really do that up to this point. I think the creative he'd been doing since being champion was woeful, was awful, was, really underwhelming. And I just think there's, other things we could do first. So do I think they will turn him? I think there is a chance. I think they might be tempted by the double turn. And if we go down that road, that's fine. I mean, if we go down that road, I think it might work. I think him being a heel will give people what they're looking for. As you said, there's a lot of people that are looking to do that. And that says to me there's a lot of people that are bored and tired of the current version of Cody and are more excited about him being a heel, right? And more excited about him going down those paths. So if you give people what they want, they will enjoy it, right? For the short term, at least, until they potentially get bored and then want to turn him back face again, right? But the thing is, as I said, you can't keep pressing that button, heel face, heel face, heel face, heel face. Like, it really should be a last resort. So if I was in a creative meeting and this was being proposed, I would really be pushing back on, like, I don't think we've even tried doing anything else with Cody yet. Can we do a few things first? And I'd come up with a few different suggestions, few different storylines, things, I might even do something with Brandy, where, like, all of a sudden Brandy's being dragged into a story. I wouldn't have her in a match. I mean, I might have her in a mixed tag match. I might actually build to something like that, right? But I would only do that if the fans are really telling me they're interested, because I am aware that Brandy stepping into a wrestling ring is not something people were looking for when Cody first came back. It's not something I was looking for when Cody first came back. So I don't know the appetite is really there for Brandy in a wrestling ring. But if the story is right, and actually there's a hunger for, maybe, there's some woman, Becky or someone, maybe it's Cody against Seth and Becky's involved, and people are waiting for Brandy to get in. She doesn't. She won't cross that line. But then the fans kind of let her know it's okay if you do. We're all right with it. You could maybe do something there. So I think there's a chance they do turn him soon. I think there is a chance of it, but I, as I said, would wait personally and try a few other things first. The new episode is not up yet, although it's probably still a little bit early, to be honest. It's normally up by now, but it's not there yet. I'll keep an eye on it. Oh, I need my headphones in as well. Wrestling Russ, shout out to you, my friends. Wrestling Russ said, I just wanted to drop in to say hi. I'm actually leaving on vacation tomorrow. I'm going to stay off social media, except for the Daze community. And I'm going to take you all with me to Wisconsin and Minnesota. Peace and love, Russ. Russ, have a great time, dude. Have a great time. I hope you enjoy yourself. And, appreciate the support, my friends. So, have fun. Have a great time. I don't really know what there is to do over there. If anyone's in the Wisconsin or Minnesota area, let Russ know what he can get up to. I'm sure there's some very interesting, fun things that you can do. Ah, there it is. There you are. Now it has jumped. I think they put it up at literally 5-2. I don't know why they put it up at 5-2, but it literally goes up at 5-2. So it is there, and I am picture-in-picture, full screen. I don't want to go full screen. I am. Is there any adverts first? Yeah. To be. I'm just going to get past this advert, and then I'm going to press pause. We're not watching it yet until. There we go. Not watching it until we get to the hour. We always do that. So if you are in America, It is up on Tubi right now. So you can get it fired up. You can get it ready, but we're not going to press play for another 4 minutes. Right. Enjoy your vacation, said Tracy. Nightmare Fatu said, we're WWE fans. We're not like other fans. We love Brandy. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there was an. I think fans in WWE are different. I think that Brandy has not been kind of forced down our throats. Over in AEW, they were trying to make her a bit of a wrestler, and she was like the chief Brandy officer, and you know she'd got a position, and you know the AEW fans, there was pushback there, and yeah, it kind of got to the point where like there wasn't an appetite to really see her. But I mean, Cody's been in for a good few years now in WWE, and we've barely seen Brandy. She's just been part of like some WrestleMania entrances. So I think you could definitely do a story where, you know, he's dealing with Seth and he's got a real problem with, say, Becky, who's on the outside. And, you know, you could even start getting the crowd to start chant for Brandy and, like, you know, want Brandy to come down. Brandy could be in the front row. She might, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get involved kind of a thing. You know, you could really, like, tease something there. But I would have, you know, I wouldn't want Cody to just be looking weak or anything like this. Like, I'd want him to be a badass. I'd want him to have an edge. I'd want him to have an attitude. But it's just, you know, he's doing all this great work and he's getting the better of Seth and everything's looking good, but he just keeps getting flipping interrupted by Becky, and there's nothing you can do there. And then, you know, you've got a Brandy element that could be kind of interesting, and I don't know. I still think there's so much to explore with him as a babyface. But no, I get it. I get that he's stale. I get that people don't like the current presentation. I do understand that. It's up to WWE to try and find that solution, and maybe their solution will be to turn him heel. What do we think about Randy begging for a match with The Rock? Randy wants to wrestle The Rock for a long time. I don't think Randy should beg for a match. I think Randy is a legend, and I don't think Randy needs The Rock. So, I mean, like, he might want to have a match with The Rock, but I certainly wouldn't have him begging. So, yeah, you could do that match, definitely. I'd be definitely down for Randy versus The Rock. I think the two matches The Rock needs to have is against Roman and against Cody. Those are the two he needs to have. And then if you expand it beyond that, you know, maybe then you start getting into like a Randy Orton, maybe a Seth Rollins type territory, you know. But the two that he's got to have before he definitely hangs up the boots, definitely against Roman, because that'll be a big missed opportunity. And I think after everything that's happened, definitely against Cody. Right, we should be getting underway with this very, very soon. We are about to click go. I'm just waiting for it to click over, and then I am pressing this button. But at the moment, it's saying 59 minutes past. Right, we've got Jordan Oasis. He's going to be getting a tag partner. We don't know who it is, so we might have a bit of a surprise there. Here we go. I've pressed play. So a mystery partner is joining Jordan Oasis for a tag team showdown against Swipe Right. Kendall Gray is taking on Zayda Steele as well. Oh, that'll be... I like watching Kendall Gray. She's good talent. So Kendall Gray is going to be in action. She's taking on Zayda Steele. Okay, then now, forever together. Bum, bum, bum. I'm a G like Kylie. Here we go. So we've got the intro playing right now. This week's Evolve is underway. Swipe Right, great team. Should be a great match, actually. Don't know loads about Jordan Oasis. And we don't know who his tag partner's going to be. It's Wednesday night. It's Tubi. It's time for WWE Evolve. Okay, here we go. Dante Chen is going to start things off. So So, Dante Chen. Making his way down to the ring. He's got a really good following when it comes to, like, the developmental system. They do love Dante Chen. Passion, perseverance, precision. So Dante's in there. The crowd are clapping along for Dante. Dante getting in the ring. They love that. Look at everyone in the crowd doing it along with him. There we go. He's taking on Idris. Now, Idris has been doing a really interesting thing recently. This kind of very regal, the epitome of excellence. I wish his music was like, I don't know, bigger. Idris getting in the ring. Look, he's got the... you could see him as like a king of the ring, couldn't you? Easily. I love that bit. I love when he goes in the corner and he's got his kind of robe thing on. And when the music really kicks in, he just puts his arms up. The robe just sort of falls down. Camera's looking up at him. It's good presentation. Get your phone out. Take a picture. Well, here we go. Look, we've got a red hot baby face. Taking on Idris and Nofe. These two about to hook up down here in Evolve. Shot coming in there by Dante. I don't mind this as an opening match, honestly. I think it's quite good. I think Idris is really interesting because he was in that tag team for a long time with Malik Blades. And just really flat, that team, to be honest. There wasn't really much to them. Like, they kept losing. They were, like, always down and dejected and... Lovely hip toss there by Dante. Headlock takeover by Dante is keeping Idris down. So keeping him grounded at the moment. Dante Chen, the first Singaporean superstar. Did you see that WWE Evolve has released footage of Hogan facing off with Giant Gonzalez? I'd seen a photo, but I can now get to see the video. I have not seen that video. I think I had seen a clip and then maybe hyping it was on the way. But I have not seen the video of it yet. No, I haven't. But, yeah, I seem to remember, like, talking about it, or there was something that was doing the rounds about a week ago about it. So, has that gone up? Has that gone up recently? Like, perhaps it went up, did it go up last week or 2 weeks ago? I feel like I've spoke about it, but I have not sat down and watched it. Right now we got Dante grabbing Idris. I'm going to jot it down to watch that because that's the kind of thing I forget about, Andy, so... Daze, let's not forget about the original Reflection of Perfection, Mark Jindrak, who still holds the WWE record for the highest vertical leap. I would like him to be back as he had the look. Dante, down. Good to see Dante Chen again, said Jadam. QB said, do you collect the figures? We just spoke about that. I collect the WWE Superstars line. I don't collect the Mattel ones so much anymore. There is the odd one that I'm interested in, though. There's a new John Cena coming out with, like, 5 belts. Right now, we've got Idris in control. Look at that. Keeping Dante Chen grounded. And he does have like a reverse chin lock applied at the moment. His fashion is inspired by no one but himself, is the fact for Idris. Shot to the back as Idris goes down to one knee. Right now we've got Idris going into that top rope. He goes back. Elbow to the midsection. Dante grabbing a hold of Idris, looking to get Idris up. Idris with a couple of knees, lands on his feet. Double axe handle there by Idris. DDT. Going for the cover. 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up there by Dante Chen. Idris trying to get a headlock applied. Keeping Dante down. Reverse chin lock again. This match has had a bit of time to it, you know. Dante being pulled down. Right now we've got Dante trying to get back up to his feet. Net breaker by Dante. Idris goes down. Dante trying to get over to the corner. Idris back up on his feet. Charging over. That was a lovely little move there by Dante. Actually used his leg to sort of take Idris off his feet. Duck underneath there by Dante. Dante against the rope. Clothesline. Idris goes down. Idris again. I love that trip by Dante. Really good. Step up Insecurity. Idris down to one knee. Referee had to quickly move out the way. Big boot there by Dante. Idris goes down. Dante is going to go... Oh, here we go. Oh, Idris gets out the ring. Just managing to stay out the way. Nice. On that top rope. Dante down in the middle of the ring. Idris grabbing him. Net breaker again. Oh, no, couldn't get it. Dante, 2. Oh. Idris, and a handful of tights. Handful of tights. Idris picks up the victory. But he needed to get the tights in order to do it. There we go. Idris picks up the victory. And I'm all right with Idris continuing to be undefeated. I believe he's undefeated in Evolve at the moment. Oh, that was Dante's first Evolve match. Yeah, look, you could see there was a bit of tights being held there. Idris is in the corner, posing away. The woman had to just lean out the way there. Here's Jordan Oasis. It's goal. Tanned and jacked. Okay. We should all be on the same page. You're weak and you're pale. Look at his hair. So it's Gull and Sam Holloway are being disrespectful to Jordan Oasis. Cappuccino. Who are you? This promo's a little clunky. I think they've got its goal wrong here. Look at Sam having to lean down to speak to Jack Cartwheel. I think they got its goal completely wrong there. The thing about its goal that I find really interesting is he just feels like not even human, in the sense of like he like wears shades and is like it's goal. Like he just doesn't act like a normal human would act. And there they've just got him like backstage, just like having conversations. I sort of would have had him like being a bit more quiet, and then when he came in, kind of coming in with some really memorable, like, don't have him just conversing like normal people do. Like, have him kind of coming out with like really random lines, and like have people like, what? In a way, I think I'd have him like a human version of ChatGPT going wrong. I'd have him like coming out with what he thinks is like all this wisdom, and people are like, what's this guy even on about? And you got Goal just kind of standing there going, it's Goal. I'd make him a meme. I'd make him a full-on meme. I wouldn't have him just chatting away like everyone else. There, I mean, like, you're just making him like every other person. I was quite excited for its goal. I mean, I'm still excited for its goal, but I feel like the presentation's going down a road that's just going to take a bit. It's just going to take a bit of the magic away. Sam Holloway just in like casual clothes, just chatting. I don't know. That was too chatty, that segment for me. And there wasn't really any lines in there that were that interesting either. I mean, we're clearly going to do its goal and Sam as a tag team against Cappuccino and Cartwheel. So, I mean, it serves the purpose. It gets us somewhere, but I don't know that you would have watched that segment and fallen in love with any of those characters. I don't think you would have watched that segment and gone, oh my God, its goal's amazing, or oh my God, Sam Holloway. You might have gone, oh, Sam's big. Jack Cartwheel's small. You might have come away with it thinking that. Here's Adrenaline Drip. Are they going to be taking on those two then? Is that who their opponent's going to be? Adrenaline Drip is the name for Cappuccino Jones and Jack Cartwheel. I don't mind that name. I don't mind that name. Robbie said, I'm going to miss the stream tomorrow. I'm going to go to Fantastic Four. I might miss the SummerSlam streams because I might go to the cinema, said Robbie. Well, Robbie, have fun. I think it's great that SummerSlam's going to be in the cinemas. There we go. That guy's drinking a bit of the coffee and he's like, oh. So next up we got Adrenaline Drip going to be in action. Yeah, the music's a lot more about the drip than it's about adrenaline. If you think adrenaline, you don't think that music. Here's its goal. Let's have a look at its gal's entrance. Look at him. He's come out with a little megaphone. He's come out with a little megaphone. He's going, it's goal. It's goal. It's goal. Keep it down, dummy. Do you know what? I actually would love to see its goal in a mixed tag match with Jada Parker. Because I feel like Jada Parker, her gimmick feels like her presentation. The graphics are based on Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. You can look at her graphics. She's got that sort of GTA vibe. And if you look at its goal, I think he's kind of based on GTA Vice City. They could be a GTA tag team. You see my point, though? He's just come out with a little megaphone going, it's goal, it's goal, it's goal. You didn't really get that coming across backstage. That side of his personality wasn't really there. It's goal. It's goal. Headlock there by Cappuccino. So that first match, good 95%. I think that's very fair. Goal keeping Cappuccino down, doing a push-up, getting back up. I could see, I think its goal is going to be like a Mojo Rawley, Zack Ryder type character. Light work, he said. He's got Cappuccino on his shoulders. A lovely drop kick. Look at the heights. Lovely drop kick. Macho Man Idris Enofe needs a woman, said Wrestle Night. Oh, yeah, I agree. Needs an Elizabeth. It's goal. Back against the ropes. Drop kick. I watched WrestleMania 38 in the cinema and an AEW show. Wrestling is great on a cinema screen, said Robbie. I agree. Do they sell beer? That would be the only thing for me. I mean, if I'm going to go to the cinema and sit down and watch with mates, I'm going to want some beers. So if the cinema have got a alcohol license, which I think a lot of cinemas do have now. We went to the cinema the other day and they had a bar and you could have drinks and all that. I don't remember that being the case when I was a kid. I don't remember going to the cinema when I was a kid and there was like alcohol being served. I think as cinemas have got a bit more desperate, they've kind of got liquor licenses. Some cinemas have had him all the time, though. Oh, that woman was shocked. Sam Holloway just hurled Cappuccino into the ring post, and there was a woman in the background. She was like, ah, oh! Mate, Sam Holloway's come in, and he is impressing. Sam Holloway is in there. I remember this guy. We've seen him before. I think they should do something special with Sam Holloway. I think they should do something. Don't just have him as a standard big man. Shots coming down there by its goal. Oh, yeah. I love its goal just shouting out stuff to the crowd. You can't quite hear what he's saying, but you know that he's bragging and disrespecting his opponent, kissing his bicep. He's going for the cover there, but he was choking at the same time. In an official poll, its goal ranked #1 on the Studometer. Leg drop there by its goal. Its goal. Its goal. Going for a 2 count. Shoulder up there by Cartwheel. Its goal going over. Grabbing Jack Cartwheel. I really like Holloway. I'm trying to think what I would do with him. I'd have him in a really specific gimmick. He comes in. Holloway grabs Cartwheel. Oh, mate, look at that throw. 1, 2, no joy. Cartwheel kicks out, but he's being kept grounded at the moment. Headlock applied here by Holloway. Feuded with Marcus Mathers on the independent scene. Elbow coming in. First time I saw alcohol was like 2017 in Italy. My classmates and I had some Jack Daniels. Sean said its goal was on Reality of Wrestling recently. Really? That's good. Cappuccino. I think Evolve's brilliant for that. I mean, if you've got a little local wrestling promotion and some of this talent is appearing, you know, it's going to make you want to go. Oh, shot of espresso by Cappuccino. Holloway goes down. Its goal is up. Distracting. Holloway into its goal. Suplex by Cappuccino. Bang. Tag being made. Cartwheels going up. This is a good match. Here we go. Cartwheel. Oh, mate. 1, 2. Oh, Holloway kicks out and they were both pinning him. Dude. Was that like an inverted blockbuster? What the flips this match. This match shouldn't be this good. It's Goal has got Cappuccino. Cartwheel over the top. Psh, we're cooking. We're cooking. This is better than anything on NXT. Anything on Raw. Holloway is going to go here. Holloway, the big man over the top. Jesus. Jesus. The crowd going crazy. We're eating. Crowd are chanting, this is awesome. Holloway's up top. Big splash there by Holloway. 1, 2. Cappuccino made the save with an elbow from the heavens. It's Gall is in. Duck underneath. Ducks underneath. Picks up Cartwheel. Oh, reversed by Cartwheel. Head scissors, gets him up on the shoulder, and Death Valley driver. Suicide dive by Cappuccino. This might be it. Cartwheel. Oh, connects. That'll do it. 2, 3. Brilliant. Brilliant. Excellent work. Mate, Cappuccino and Cartwheel might be the new Fraxium. Might be the new Fraxium. We might have found the new Fraxium. Adrenaline Drip are here. Remember the name. Remember the name. Wow. I agree with Pete Rosenberg. Very cohesive. Lovely quick tags. Really good work. First time we've seen them team together. And it was brilliant. Gotta say, though, fair play to It's Gall and Holloway. Fair play. Okay, so Brooks Jensen wants to team with Jordan. I'm walking on my own path. You help me, I help you. Brooks Jensen, he's going to turn him, isn't he? Surely he's going to turn on him. Well, there we go. Zayda still against Kendall Gray now. Mate, this is actually a really good episode. I like Idris's gimmick. Dante's really over. Opening match was okay. Good 95, I think is fair. Tag match just cooked. And now we got Zayda Steel against Kendall Gray. And I think Brooks Jensen's probably going to turn later in this show. Most theatres in the US don't sell alcohol, said the Beach Kevin. Well, looks like I'm going to be doing the watch-along for SummerSlam then. No alcohol, no days. That's how that works. That's how that works. Right, I've gone to commercial break. I've seen this before. What's this, American Shield, is it, or something? American Home Shields. The Dodgers take on the Red Sox. Saturday, 7 Eastern. Okay. Marcus Mathers and Stevie Turner. Marcus against Bryce Donovan. I'm guessing that's next week. Here's Kylie. Kylie said she needs Gentala next week. Face to face. Okay, well, there we go. Few developments there. I mean, that stuff's important because, honestly, that's the kind of stuff that makes this a brand. You know, there's feuds, there's stories. You need those kind of things. It might not have been the most exciting segment in the world, but the alternative is that this would just be match. So it is good to get those moments. Kendall Gray has made her way out. Deep breath as she goes up the steps into the ring. Kendall Gray in the ring. Match number 3 coming up. They sell beers at Cineworld. I saw the new Jurassic Park in 4D. Do they? Now you're talking my language. Right, here we go. Kendall Gray, Zayda, Steele. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, this will be a good match. I'm really looking forward to this. I really like Kendall Gray as a wrestler. I think she's really good. She's obviously got an amateur background. She's in the ring. Zayda Steele has got in the ring as well. Should be interesting matchup, this. Both of these women trying to get back into contention. So, got to think a win is going to be beneficial. Locking up as Kendall is taken over. Kendall, again, going over. Around the back is Zayda. She pulls at the hair. Kendall really chucks herself around, man. You see how hard she gets, like, chucked down? Again, over. Kendall still down. Nice reverse there. No joy. Zayda again in control. Nice work here by Kendall trying to get back up to her feet. Over against the rope goes Zayda. Shoulder barge. Down goes Kendall. Over the top. Zayda against the ropes. Being helped over the other side. Looking for a headlock takeover. Getting it. Keeping her grounded at the moment, middle of the ring. She's seeking her second victory in a row as she's trying to get back to women's title contention. Kendall Gray. Kendall Gray trying to get back up to her feet. She's still got Zayda getting backed over into the corner. Zayda with a slap. And she walks away, back to the middle of the ring, comes over as Kendall gets out the ray. Through that was great. Jesus, through the legs. Big crossbody there by Kendall. Really good work. Right now, in control as Zayda goes to the outside to try and regroup. Zayda on the outside looking for a timeout as Kendall jumps out the ring as well. She's getting back in the ring as Kendall's trying to get back in the ring also. Shot is blocked there by Kendall through the ropes. Kick coming in there by Zayda. Double knees. Tell you what, Kendall got a bit caught up on the ropes there, but it looked quite good. If I was her, I might have sold that a little longer. She just sort of got like caught as she was bouncing on the ropes a little bit. It looked kind of good. It sold the move a little more. Kendall being dragged out into the middle of the ring. She is... Oh, that was great by Zayda. Don't think Zayda hasn't got a trick or two up her sleeve because she just tied Kendall up in knots there and delivered a lovely clothesline. Kendall definitely feeling it at the moment. She's over against the ropes. Some good selling as Zayda again involving the crowd, going over. Big knee. She's very good, Zayda Steele, at keeping the crowd engaged. Middle of the ring, she was doing it. Then she ran over. Big knee. She was then Zayda, Zayda, Zayda. Smile on her face as well as Kendall goes down. Apparently, she coordinates the Vanity Project's matching outfits each week. Zayda Steele. Zayda smashing Kendall into the mat. As Kendall tries to get back into the middle of the ring. Kick out, shoulder up. Still down at the moment. Zayda grabbing a hold of Kendall. From a technical point of view, it's good. Selling is good. They're involving the crowds. You got good heel and babyface dynamics. Right now, Kendall trying to sell the back. She's over in the corner. Zayda comes in. Kendall looking for a German, getting a German. Just need a couple of big spots, really. A couple of big moves just to really get the crowds. Both of these girls are just down at the moment. Crowd, though, they're into it. They're applauding. Right now, a bit of trash talk there by Zayda. Forearm shot coming in there by Kendall. Another shot blocked, and Kendall with another shot. Again, bang, another big blow. Big boot to the midsection. Back elbow. Zayda goes down. Kendall coming back. Reverse. Kendall going over to the corner. She goes up. And lovely crossbody, but roll through to kick out there by Kendall. Kick out by Kendall. Oh my God, that was so smooth. That was so smooth. Zayda went for a clothesline. Kendall dropped down. Actually kind of, belly to belly was okay. Some of the stuff here is really smooth. Look, Kendall's up. The straps are coming down. The straps are down. Wendy Choo on the outside of the ring. Kendall was distracted at the moment. Roll up by Zayda. Kick out. Look at that pin. Look at that pin. What the flip? Mate, Kendall gets a pin. That was a brilliant pin. That was like Becky Lynch-esque from Evolution. Kendall pins Zayda Steele. Gets the victory. Everyone's pointing that Wendy is actually under the ring right now. I like that match. From a technical point of view, I think that match was really good. I think it was just missing a couple of big spots, a couple of big moments. Some of the moments they did, she might have needed to just let them breathe a little bit more. There was a couple of big cross bodies and whatnot, but... Here's Chewy. What you see is what you get with Kendall Gray. Kendall Gray walks away. Okay, we're backstage with Sean Legacy. Let's get a poll up for that last match. So Sean Legacy cutting a promo here is asking why Keanu's got an issue with the WWE ID program. Next week. The unstoppable monster Keanu Carver tries to stop Super Sean Legacy. That match coming up next week. Our main event, though, is going to be Swipe Right against Jordan Oasis and Brooks. Dude, could you imagine Swipe Right against Adrenaline Drip? Could you imagine that match? After how good Adrenaline Drip looked earlier. We are going to get that match. And when we get that match, it is going to feed families. Adrenaline Drip in there with Swipe Right. Very good. That was innovative, said Porky Pig. Kendall is really good, said Nightmare Fatu. That pin was great. Do you know what? You lot really enjoyed that tag match, and I'm really pleased to see that because I agree. I thought it was excellent. I would have voted great as well if I was voting. And You lot said it was great 79%, which genuinely does put it above anything we got from, I think, either Raw or NXT this week. So a very, very good. I mean, who would have said one of the best matches we would have seen in recent weeks would have come out of Evolve? But really was fun, just fun. So yeah, honestly, not bad. I think, you know, what we're probably lacking a little bit of is a little bit of storyline or matches that really matter. You know, I don't know that there was anything to Kendall versus Zayda, for example. And obviously Zayda winning, Kendall winning, sorry, what has that done for her? I think we could probably flesh some of that out a little bit more, but you know, other than that, like, matches have been fine. The tag match was great, and you know, we're kind of doing some bits to make this feel like a brand. Right now, we got Chantal Monroe. She is talking to Kylie Ray, I believe. When you look in the mirror, you see nothing but disappointment. Okay, so Chantal Monroe wants to get Kylie Ray out of the way. So I don't know if that's going to be next week, but next week we got Keanu Carver against Super Sean Legacy. That'll be a good match. That'll be a good match. The strength, the size, the power of Keanu Carver against the technical ability of Sean Legacy. Vanity Project are coming back out. No sign of Zayda Steel with them, though. Hondas! Here's swipe right then. Brooks and Jordan Oasis. I don't know much about Jordan Oasis. The ref that everyone loves is in the ring as well. The ref that went viral during Evolution. Izzy Dame hit Jensen so hard he's landed in Evolve, said Rob. Just tuning in, how's it been so far, said Taker 1990. I think it's been fun, honestly. It's not been... The thing with Evolve is, can you ever really say it's been essential, must watch? I don't know that Evolve is that. I mean, I think you've got to be interested in looking at the talent that's coming through and seeing how they're changing and evolving that talent. That's got to be something that's interesting to you. If it is interesting to you, then I think you can really get something out of Evolve. Here's Brooks Jensen. I mean, I don't even know what his music's like these days. Here's Brooks Jensen. It's just really throwaway, kind of like indie music. That is not it for him. That's not a gimmick, is it? What's he meant to do with that? Just really throwaway indie music. Really boring graphics. This ain't making him stand out. There's nothing about that says superstar, is there? I mean, I think they probably have just gone, oh my God, we need to give him some music. What, have we got anything? And they've just had a little look around in the files to see what they've got, and he's ended up with that. Okay, they're doing quite a big intro here, which I don't really understand why. There's no titles on the line. These two are great. Swipe right are great. Hondos! Poor Brooks, said Steve. They just keep killing him and anything they give him. Porky Pig said he should just go back to being that old school gimmick. That was at least, I thought that was better. I thought at least you could get your teeth into something there. To be honest, this just feels like we don't know what to do with him. Let's just get him in, get him going, and we'll go from there. That's kind of how it feels right now. Here we go then. So Brooks Jensen in there with Brad Baylor at the moment. Brooks Jensen trying to pick up Brad Baylor over the other side in the middle of the ring. Over the other side is Brad. Against the ropes. No, just a bit of hair pulling here, to be honest. Kick coming in. I think this is a little bit of a problem as a main event. We've just seen an amazing tag match. I don't really have an appetite to see another. I mean, it is nice to see Brooks, but I mean, all I've seen is that you don't know what to do with him, and we're only a couple of minutes in. Headlock takeover by Brooks. Is a former NXT UK Tag Team Champion. That was when he was with Briggs, and of course Fallon was with them. Shot coming in against the ropes. Over the other side goes Brooks Jensen, face first. Tag was made. Jordan Oasis is in. Now, I don't know loads about Jordan. I think, again, there was nothing there from Brooks Jensen. Okay, that was good by Jordan. Lovely leapfrog. Lovely kip up as well. Ricky Smokes, I think, a bit surprised to turn around and see that Jordan Oasis was standing there. Nice takeover. Referee is in. As we've got Ricky against the ropes. He holds onto the rope. Big kick coming in. Daze, what did you come up with these perspective of ideas? William, shout out to you. I think everyone has these ideas and thoughts and things about wrestling. Certainly if you've been watching a long time. Another chop coming in, and again, really unloading in the corners. So good work there by the baby faces. Swipe right, almost get thrown into each other. Brad Baylor goes to the outside. Slammed down there by Ricky Smokes. Is booted in the back and sentoned by Jordan Oasis. One. Just a one. Just it's going to take a lot more than that to put Swipe right away. Obviously, the champ is on the outside. Against the ropes. Brad Baylor. There's back elbow by Jordan Oasis. Baylor grabs the leg. Brooks is trying to get in. Referee is preventing him, but big boot coming in there by Smokes. Jordan Oasis goes down and kicks are coming in. We've actually got, I've only just noticed this, but on the railings, it's got a WWE logo and it says WWE Network. I've only just noticed that. That just must be old graphics or something that they've got around. And they just don't even really care that it's advertising the WWE Network, which doesn't really exist anywhere anymore. It exists in, like, Germany. I've just got an advert for WrestleMania. Daze, have you seen Cody's new merch? The skull is completely different, and the American Nightmare is not on it. I think a heel turn is happening. Thoughts? I've not seen it, but if they're putting new merch out now, they wouldn't do it for a heel version of him, would they? That would be my thoughts. If they're putting out merch now, like, why would they put out merch for a heel character when he's not a heel? So I think that it's just new merch for him. But I haven't seen it. Big shot raining down there by Brad grabbing Jordan, taking Jordan over. I think Brooks' gimmick is that they aren't working, so let's do something worse, said Steve. Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, he's kind of a bit of a blank canvas. So you can do some. There's a guy there you can do something with. But I just don't think they've quite figured out what to do yet. It's a shame because they've kicked him out of the culling, so you would have thought they would have worked on something, but clearly not. Right now, let's end the... oh, that's a surprise. I wasn't expecting that. So actually, you lot really enjoyed Zayda Steel and Kendall Great, and I enjoyed it as well. So 50% of you said that that match was great. 38% said it was good. That means that out of the 3 matches we've had so far, 2 of them have been rated great. God, you can't really ask for much more from a Wednesday Evolve show, can you? You know? Little stories, showcasing emerging talent, and they managed to deliver 2 great matches. I mean... great. Shots coming in there by Swipe Right. Have they got any Evolve merch yet? That's what I want. I want to rock some Evolve merch. Jordan trying to tag in Brooks Jensen, and again, they're flipping do merch for everything. Ah, backbreaker. Oh, Ricky Smoke's charging over full pelts. Oh, down he goes. Tag being made. In comes Brad Baylor. Brad Baylor's in. He grabs Jordan Oasis. Lovely teamwork there by Swipe Right. Really good. He just picked him up. Held him up. And then drop kick by Ricky Smokes. Jordan Oasis went down hard. Knee coming into the back there by Swipe Right. Again, another knee coming in there by Brad. He's going over, making a tag. In comes Ricky Smokes. 1 count. Sign in the crowd said swipe left. As shots are raining down. I mean, they're quite good at engaging the crowd. We know that Swipe Right are a great team. Chop coming in there by Jordan Oasis. I wonder if this show ends with Brooks Jensen turning on Jordan Oasis. It feels like it. And they do tend to like to end with a bit of a cliffhanger. So I could believe that it's going to go that way and that's how this is going to end. There's Brad Baylor shouting out to the fans as well. As Swipe Right are very much in control. Jordan Oasis in the wrong part of town gets taken over. And nice headlock being applied there by Brad Baylor. Really cinching it in. He's kind of positioned his he's kind of positioned his body over the sides, right? So he had the headlock in and he was like leaning over to the side. And then he just started to like rotate his hips, gyrate a bit. There was a guy in the crowd that was like, I don't need to see that. I don't mind that, actually. That's good. I wonder if I haven't really noticed him doing that before. Headlock in, move the body to the side, and then sort of like gyrate a little bit. It's a bit like kind of Shawn Michaels, Ravishing Rick Rude type thing to do. But the dude in the crowd that was like, oh my God. Cannonball there by Jordan Oasis as Brad Baylor was over against the ropes. Yeah, Brooks is coming in. There was no tag made there, but he goes right after the other guy that's not legal. He grabs a hold of Jordan Oasis, pulls him over and makes the tag. Well, there we go. Referee, I mean, that's really interesting, isn't it? Because how many times do you see people like trying to crawl over to make that hot tag? Brooks Jensen's just got in the ring, grabbed Jordan Oasis, pulled him over to the corner, got out the ring, made the tag and got back in again. And the ref's like, yeah, fine, that's fine. I mean, there's not much the ref can do, is there? But it makes you think all those times where you've got someone on the outside, like, reaching, desperate to make the... Why don't they just get in, pull them over, get back out and tag them? Because that's what he's just done. Right now, Brooks Jensen... Brooks Jensen has said, I'm screw you. He's just walked away from Jordan. I don't need to be your partner. I want that title. Screw you. But how does this make any... How did that make any sense? This wasn't it. That wasn't it. It's one thing to turn on him if you lose the match out of frustration, but mid-match... It doesn't even make sense, because why go to the effort of grabbing him, dragging him over, tagging yourself in, getting in, wrestling, doing the... And then just all of a sudden going, I don't want to be your partner now. I don't want to be your partner. I want that instead. Screw you. And then he got out. No, that wasn't it. This was a really good episode up until, I think, this main event, where it had a couple of moments, but I don't know what the hell that was. Well, there we go. Swipe right, pick up the victory, and that team that we didn't think had luck, and Jordan Oasis is in the ring shaking his head. That's such a shame. That is such a shame. I thought this was a really solid, really enjoyable episode, and then they've just gone and like goofed around. It feels like then they've just gone and goofed around at the end. Ugh. Oh well. Oh well. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. There's still no Evolve shirts up either, which sucks. Right, get your scores in. So 4 matches and 2 of them getting great ratings. Obviously, we don't know what the main event will get, but yeah. William, Rob has an opinion. We all do. Felt like Vince Russo had written that turn, said Porky Pig. Who Review said, I think Swipe Right might be my favourite heel team. Yeah, they are good. They are good. That match just wasn't. That match just wasn't it. Steve said, creative, hated that terrible idea. Next week, Brooks returns as Doink the Clown. Blue Whale Sonic said, how was Evolve? I like Evolve, and we always talk a lot about this because I think there's a lot of people that don't know what Evolve is or don't quite kind of get why we watch it. But for me, this is talent that is not quite ready for NXT. If they did go to NXT, they would be, just used sparingly. As you try and work out the music, the presentation, what their gimmicks are, what's their promo style and all this sort of stuff. You have to kind of work out these different things, and I sort of feel like we're watching people that are putting that together. I mean, imagine being a young wrestler, and you're really trying to figure out what's the vehicle that's going to get me to WrestleMania. I don't want a vehicle that's going to get me to NXT. I want a vehicle that's going to get me to the main roster and beyond. I want a character. I want a promo style. I want something entertaining that I can really get my teeth into, that I can really explore and make mine. And, I can flesh it out and, really, I can go to the moon with it. There must be nothing more exciting than having a gimmick, a character, a catchphrase, all that kind of stuff. Seeing that it's working, knowing that you're on the right path, and just knowing that keep doing what you're doing, keep listening to the feedback you get in, the future looks bright for you, and, you'd have a good idea as to whether you're, about to go to the main roster or if you're about to get released. Apparently Cora Jade... it was said the other day, was kind of saying that she felt she was closer to being released than being called up, and then did get released. So I think you'd have a bit of a feeling, a bit of a vibe. So what we're trying to find here is we're trying to find new talent. We're trying to see if they're any good, but we're also trying to see, can they find a vehicle that's going to take them to the main roster and beyond. And like, you know, you look at Cappuccino Jones and you look at Jack Cartwheel and you look at that adrenaline drip and you look at how good their match was and you go, well, there's something there, isn't there? There's something there. There's something interesting there. But the only thing I would say is, like, they've got a lot of stuff to work out. Like, what's the music going to be? Because I don't think their entrance music's right. What's their logo going to be? Because I doubt that's their logo. It's very generic. Cappuccino Jones, does he keep doing the cappuccino thing? Do you even need that gimmick if you're in a tag team? And if you keep it, does Jack Cartwheel need to kind of lean into that? I mean, you don't want to make your tag team about the cappuccino coffee thing. And I understand not wanting to abandon that because that, you know, if this team breaks up, Cappuccino's going to need to go back to that. But I don't know. Do you create a brand for that tag team that's strong and then also have like a sub-brand within it for Cappuccino Jones? That would be a bit of an issue. That would be a bit of a head-scratcher of like, do you have a gimmick within a gimmick? I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do with that. So I'll be interested to see how that moves forward. So when it comes to Evolve, it's not just about the stories or who's the champion, or it's about watching these characters evolve. That for me is the true pleasure. So I'm enjoying watching Kendall on her journey. I'm enjoying watching Swipe Right on their journey. I'm enjoying watching Adrenaline Drip and see what's next for them. I'm really intrigued by Sam Holloway. I cannot find the right word for Sam Holloway. Sam Holloway, to me, needs to be a bit like... I don't even know if this person exists, but like, is there, you know, a kind of priest that if you're on death row, you would speak to before you're about to die? Like, I want a dark character like that. I want someone that has looked men in the eyes moments before they've died. You know, I want Sam Holloway to have... I want his finishing move as well to be where he grabs guys in a headlock and picks them off their feet, right, and holds them here, and their legs are just dangling like that, and they just pass out. Because he's a tall guy, I want him to like have that as his finishing holds, where their legs are just dangling. It's kind of like, you know, a hangman's headlock type thing, and like, you know, they just pass out, and he just lets them go. They just collapse down on the floor. Sam Holloway gets the win. Like, I want him to have this dark persona, but I don't want it to be a dark persona that is like, I don't know. I want it to be that he's had that job. That's a job that he's done in the past. Don't make it a gimmick in the sense of like, I don't know. Don't make it weird. Like, actually make it that he says that's a job he used to do. He used to be he used to be a priest that would speak to men on death row, you know, just after they had had their final meals. And I really think like that he can then sort of punch that through in a gimmick and could sort of find a way of maybe fleshing that world out. I really think that could come through his promos. It could come through his ring gear. It could come through his entrance music. It could come through his graphics. His finishing move, kind of where it's a bit like a hangman's noose. He's kind of like choking him out. Their legs are off the ground. I think you got to be careful that it's doesn't come across as like disrespectful. But I don't think that would be any more disrespectful than Undertaker, you know? Putting people in body bags and, you know, putting people in caskets and burying people alive and all of that. Like, I don't think a gimmick like that would be more disrespectful. I'm trying to find that kind of role of like, what would you do with Holloway? That's the area that I'm in. I wouldn't go, oh no, it has to be, you know, I wouldn't say it's got to be that. Of course you wouldn't. But again, after watching that episode, imagine if you then got invited by Shawn Michaels, by Matt Bloom to go into a room and it's like, right, What do we think? You just saw that episode. What do you think? And that is what I love about Evolve. That is what I love. What should we do with Kendall? What do we need to work on with Kendall? What do we like about Sam Holloway? Do we like the Holloway It's Goal team? What about It's Goal when he was backstage? You know, as I said, I think we lost his gimmick in that moment. I think his gimmick is... You need to do something a bit more outlandish with him because he's outlandish. Don't just have him chatting normally. Do something different. That to me is the joy of Evolve. And I got a lot out of this episode in that regards. We had some great matches. I think there's some interesting character developments. There's not really much in the way of stories. There are stories. We know that Chantel Monroe wants to go after Kylie Ray. We know that Kendall's got an issue with Wendy. We know that Sean Legacy's calling out Keanu. Like, you know, they're doing stories. It is a brand. I don't think you would tune in and watch for that reason because the stories are not that creative. Not yet. It'd be good to see a bit more creativity coming into the stories. But to be honest with you, I think the way they put this show together is they're like, right, we've got this talent that we want to showcase. So we want to do that match, that match, that match, that match, that match, that match, that match. They got some matches and then they just try and do some little stories to try and get to those matches. And that's kind of Evolve, really. So I think, it's such a hard one because, like, if people didn't watch and they wanted to know if they should watch, I think there are some big sort of things that you would say, like pretenses, like, yeah, it's worth a watch, definitely. I enjoy it, but I don't enjoy it maybe for the reasons that you might think. I don't enjoy it because, like... they've got amazing characters and all this sort of stuff. You've really got to be interested in watching talent evolve. You've really got to be interested in watching people kind of work stuff out. Like, I'm fascinated by stupid things like Becky. Becky Lynch, when she first came in, was doing that Irish dancing gimmick. She would do river dance in the ring. She was wearing green and she was doing all like leaning into being Irish. And like the fact that she's gone from that to main event in WrestleMania as the man and watching that process, you've got to get enjoyment out of that. And if you do, then I think you will enjoy Evolve. So yeah, a couple of really good matches on Evolve this week. Some interesting talking points on Evolve this week, but main event angle was rubbish. I didn't enjoy that at all. I think they've turned her heel to keep both herself and Jordan away from the title whilst JC is champ. They don't want her as a transitional champion. How long do we think that JC holds the title? It's interesting. She's a heel top champ. There's also a juggling a Blake Monroe who's a heel. Was that turn too premature? Well, I mean, I to be honest with you, I think that they wanted Blake to be heel. And I think that they didn't really bring her in as a face. We thought she'd come in as a face, but she hadn't really. She was actually a heel pretending to be a face for a little bit. And then she showed her true colours. So I don't know that the turn has come early because I don't know that it was so early. I don't even know that I can class it as a turn. I think she was probably more heel all along. And she has been kind of like self-centered and arrogant all along. And she was just deceiving Jordan. So fine. It was so early that it just doesn't even really register. I think that let's get going with her as a heel now. She's a heel. Let's get stuck into that. Hopefully the feud with Jordan's going to be really good, brutal. I mean, you've got the power of Jordan, but you've got the mind games of Blake Monroe. So yeah, it should be a good feud. That makes sense as well, doesn't it? Because we know that Blake Monroe's a great talent. She's just been in a brilliant feud with Toni Storm. So bringing her in, you kind of want her to work with someone that knows what they're doing. You want her to work with someone that can really help get this new character over. Blake Monroe as a heel, you don't really want a talent that's still trying to figure out who they are, trying to also help get this new character over. So putting her with Jordan Grace makes a lot of sense. So yeah, gets them out of the way. And then you've got JC. And, JC, I think, is, word on the street is she puts the work in. And I think that she is someone that they want to give an opportunity to. She's someone that they want to see. What's it like if we put the belts on her? What's her match quality like? What's her promos like? This is sink or swim. This is definitely sink or swim. Massive opportunity. Massive opportunity. I think she's doing all right at the moment, honestly. I think she's doing all right. I don't think it's mind-blowing. I think we're still in that kind of phase where, people are like still surprised that we're getting behind JC and that she's the one that's been chosen. But I think as she keeps winning, like she just won at Slammiversary, she's now JC2 belts. The longer we kind of keep going with this, the more that surprise will wear off, the more she'll start to feel like a legitimate name. And she'll start to be someone that when we talk about this women's division, you've got Blake Monroe, you've got Jordan Grace, you've got, these Sol Ruka, like JC Jane will start to be mentioned. And when we spoke about the women's division before, about Julia and Stephanie and all that, we weren't really mentioning JC. JC wasn't getting a mention because, to be honest, she was just, part of a group along with Fallon. And, she was she was fine in ring, but she wasn't a name that really came to mind. She didn't stand out. They've made her stand out now, which is why this is a big opportunity for her. So yeah, let's see what she can do with it. I would keep going. I don't see how JC benefits by taking the title off her anytime soon. I would keep going. Keep going until you really run out of road. I mean, she's got to drop that TNA Knockouts Championship back relatively soon, you would think. I can't imagine she's still going to have that come January. So, maybe she loses it Bound for Glory, maybe, but likely before. So, that one I think she'll drop. But the NXT one, I would try and keep going for a while. We've managed to get Jordan out of the way, actually. And I don't know, are we in a desperate need to put this belt on Jada Parker? Maybe Lash, but Lash is a bit of a heel. Jace is a heel. I think if JC loses it, she's losing it to a face. So, I don't know who she loses it to, actually. Actually, I don't know. I mean, in my mind, it was going to be someone like Jordan Grace, and maybe it still will be. But perhaps Jordan's just got to get past Blake Monroe first. So yeah, I'd keep going. I don't see where the benefit would be in taking the belt off her. Post-match chat was good. Was anyone else impressed with Blake Monroe? I loved her head crack to finisher. It makes sense and it looks devastating, says William. The format of the show is appealing. It's a very niche audience. NXT on C-Dub has replays that can do 279, says Big Time. Blake's first segment was interacting with Fatal Influence, and her and Jordan were teaming up to take them down. I do think she was face, but for a short period of time. But she could also have been acting face. She could have been pretending to have been face, to have got close to Jordan, so that she could then turn on Jordan. So even though she was involved in some matches like against heels, we haven't really changed her presentation. It's not like all of a sudden she's not doing her being in the bath anymore and all of that sort of stuff. And you could even make an argument that when she was teaming with Jordan, she wanted to do quite self-centered things like go in for, she didn't want to train. She wanted to go for a spa and a pampering instead. So, I mean, you could even make the argument that there was little glimpses there that, she wanted to do things her way and she wasn't interested in training. She wanted to pamper herself instead, which I'm not sure if that's a babyface thing. It doesn't really matter, to be honest with you, whether she was actually a face or pretended to be face or whatever. I think it happened so early that I think they clearly knew that they wanted her to be heel from pretty much the get-go. I mean, she is working her first singles match being a heel. So, I think the plans they had for her were heel plans. And so that's it, I think the first feud they wanted to do was her and Jordan. I think that these are the plans they had in place. How we got there, is, it kind of largely irrelevant, really. I'm not really focused on that turn as being like this big turn. I think the first plan they had was to put her in there with Jordan. JC is a great fit when it comes to being a heel that can talk on the mic. The last several champs like Stephanie, Julia, Roxanne, Lyra, Tiffany, Indy, Mandy, Raquel were not as good as JC on the mic, says Big Time. Hannah said, I've got a bold prediction. JC could main event the first ever day 2 for WrestleMania 50. Well, that's going to be a long way off. That is a bold prediction because you've gone like 9 years into the future. Brony said, Roxanne is a better promo than JC in my opinion. The heel run as champ really elevated Roxanne's profile. I agree with you. I agree. That heel turn for her was great. But the way Cappuccino and Jack have branded that team is like fusing both of their gimmicks. It's like flip and sip. But that would work. Would that work long term, or would they need a duo gimmick? Well, Vic, I think this is what's interesting, honestly, because I really like them as a team. I really like them as a team, and I think they complement each other really well. But, do you keep Cappuccino Jones's really strong singles gimmick of, going within the... Or do you kind of bring elements of that into the team? Do you have references to coffee in their logo? Is it on their Titantron? Does he keep talking about coffee still in their promos? What does Jack Cartwheel do? Does he start doing it as well? But then, I don't know, is that a bit of gimmick infringement? All of a sudden then is Jack Cartwheel just kind of stealing a bit of Cappuccino Jones's gimmick? Like, it's hard to know whether you should drop it for the sake of the tag team, or whether you should embrace it, whether Jack Cartwheel should embrace it. It's quite... That is a question I will look forward to getting an answer to as we continue to move forward. If I'm a guessing man, I would say that Cappuccino will keep the gimmick going, because at this level, you don't know how long these two might team together for. At this level, it might be they team for a little bit and then someone turns and they split apart. I mean, there's no guarantee this adrenaline drip's going to work and it's going to be an amazing team. But so far, so good. I mean, what we've seen there, I thought was really good for a first match. I think there's legs to this team. I really do. I think there's legs to this team. So, yeah, that will be something that it will be worth kind of keeping an eye on as we continue to move forwards. One chilled bunny, shout out to you. Maybe I'm in the 1% that thinks JC could be in that S tier with Lita Flair, but her work ethic and look has got me thinking she could shock the world and you to extensive lengths, says Hannah. Well, from a booking point of view, I certainly don't doubt her anymore. I mean, from a booking point of view, I can see the gimmick is that, you keep doubting me, I keep proving you wrong. So, of course, after a couple of times you go, well, I ain't going to doubt her anymore because it seems like they're really pushing her. And if they're going to get behind her and they're going to push her, I would keep going with that. I wouldn't take the belt off her anytime soon. Let's keep going. Let's keep looking at the promos. Let's keep, moving forward and trying. So I'm interested to see what she is going to... I'm interested to see what she's going to do as we continue to move forwards. I mean, from an in-ring point of view, I don't see her matches like getting 5 stars or, really blowing people's minds. I think she's good. I think she can have a match, and I think her matches are good. But I don't think she's consistently great in-ring. Promo-wise, I think she's good. I think, obviously it helps she speaks English. We've had a lot of people that struggle with promos from that perspective. But I think she's good. I don't know that she's great on the microphone. She's got a bit of sass in there. She's got a bit of sass in there, which I don't mind. I think I would like her to have some killer lines, though. I think it would be nice if, she could actually, fire some shots off and really get the crowd going, oh, mate, she's cooking her. I mean, I don't hear her cooking people. So, there's more work to be done there, of course. But, she's good. She's fine. She's a perfectly acceptable choice to be champion. She's a perfectly acceptable person to give her an opportunity to. It's just, can she raise her game now? Can she deliver promos that kind of make us react and grab our attention? Can she deliver matches that make us go, damn, man, she's so good. She's so good. I mean, to me, I'd say that she's kind of just, she's below where she needs to be in those areas. And to be honest as well, from a presentation point of view, you know, she's in Fatal Influence, but what does a JC Jane on her own look like? So at the moment, she's coming out to the Fatal Influence music, which I really like. I think that's actually really good music. The Fatal Influence graphic looks great. She's got Fallon. She's got Jasmine. They're great supports for her. Good backup. I mean, the presentation right now works, but they keep teasing a breakup, don't they? If Fatal Influence break up, what happens then? JC has to go on her own. And, you know, is it going to work as well? What's the graphics like? What's the music like? You know, does it work as well with her on her own? Don't know. So that could be a development that's going to be quite interesting. So long way to go. Long way to go. But I've never had an issue with JC Jane. I'm quite pleased she's getting this opportunity. When we see Fallon during JC's segments, you can tell that there's some real life jealousy. And it's not just kayfabe. JC was a sidekick to Fallon when she was the North American champion, said Big Time. Taker 1990 said, Daze or anyone in the chat, is Dakota still on a non-compete? I don't know, to be honest. Don't know. I'm not, she could be. I mean, when was she let go? I mean, the most it would be 90 days. So if it's been longer than 90 days, she won't. Dakota is... When was she released? What was the date? 2nd of May. So 2nd of June, 2nd of July, 2nd of August. So if it is a 90-day, it'll be coming up real soon. It'll be like just over a week or so if it is 90 days. But I'm not sure if it was 90 days. It might be because she's on the main roster. So it could be. So she was released on the 2nd of May. Right. I'm going to go and start working on Unseen. I was going to say Evolve. Yeah, appreciate people joining us. Hope you enjoyed this episodes. It looks like our main event is our lowest scoring match with good 93, which is a bit of a shame, isn't it? Bit of a shame. So 4 matches, 2 of them good, 2 of them great, and on we go. So thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate the support as always. We're back tomorrow, of course, with the Wrestling Escape Pod and a member stream. Many of you will probably see us on Friday when we're back with SmackDown. So enjoy your evenings, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.